Yes, brothers and sisters. I hope everyone's well. What a day to be alive. Today is my birthday. I've been a busy boy. I've been down sparring this morning. I've done weights and I've done Weatherall steps. I've just sorted myself some good sparring for the weekend. I've got a lad coming up from Lancashire. Thank you, Sam. I'll see you at the weekend. Yeah, 40 years old today. What can I say? I've been doing a bit of reflection. You know, there's times in my life when I get, maybe people can identify, there's times when I get cast back to another time and a place, a previous time and a place, something that's maybe happened in my life, a circumstance, a place, a situation. And it happened today. I got cast back to a time, I think I was about 13-year-old, I was at school. And this happens to me, and when it does, I don't just go back in my head. I relive the memory. You know, I go right back to the time and the place with the people that I'm with. And I can remember a pencil that I had in my hand. It was a yellow and black striped pencil with a rubber on the end that we used to use for school, HB pencil. I can remember it. I could see it in my memory, in my mind, when I got cast back. And when I do that, I feel the emotions that I felt at that time. It happens to me very often. You know, I can be in a certain queue or a situation or just waiting for something mundane, doing something, and I get cast back to a time in my life. Sometimes it's a violent time, sometimes it's an affectionate time, sometimes it's a worrying time. And I feel the emotions that I felt at that point. And it only lasts 4 or 5 seconds, but it's so vividly clear. You know, it's unmistakable. The time when it was, who I was with, how I felt. It's unmistakable because I relive it and I feel it. It's crackers. So anyways, at this time I was about 13. I was playing with this pencil at school. Bizarrely, I remember it to the T. And I remember saying to my pal at school, Dave McCourt, a good pal of mine, I remember saying, imagine if we lived till we're 50. Like 50 whole years just seemed like a colossal amount of time. It seemed like so incredibly long. It seemed almost infinite. It seemed like the time it would never come round, you know. And that was about, you know, over 25 years ago. You know, and I thought, you know, what an incredible feat it would be to live till I was 50. And the older I get, the younger that seems. You know, and now I'm thinking 70 would be better. You know, I could maybe see a few grandkids and that. 70 would be great. But ultimately, you know, if my head hits the hay tonight and I don't wake up in the morning, I'll be incredibly pleased and grateful for the journey that I've been on. You know, what a journey I've been on. It's incredible, really. Absolutely incredible. You know, praise God. What a time to be alive. You know, if there's one thing I could take really from the 40 years I've been, you know, in this life, it would be the present moment. You know, the present moment it's infinite and it's eternal, you know, and the more time we can spend there, the better. You know, the more we can come away from our life circumstance and life situation, the better. And we can move into a place, a realm, you know, which can be achieved much easier than you think. You know, and to be there and to be at one, you know, with yourself, with nature, to be in a, you know, to be at one, you know, at one what? You know, one mind, one heart, one spirit, one coherent state, whatever you want to, whatever term you want to use, you know, but when you can be at one with yourself, you know, and, you know, what Jesus said, I pray that they become one, just as I and the Father are one. One what? One spirit, one consciousness. There's many terms, you know, but that's the most precious thing I've had, you know, and I've come across so far. You know, the present moment, you know, it's priceless, you know, and what an incredible tool it is. And I've only discovered it in the last couple of years, so, you know, I'm incredibly lucky for that. But ultimately, you know, I am nobody and I know nothing. You know, that ultimately, that stands out. You know, I'm nobody and I know nothing. You know, it's weird to have to have outlived my dad by 13 years, that feels bizarre, you know, because I often dream about my dad. I had recurring dream. I had the same dream for a long time, you know, and it hasn't been around for a number of years. But when I dream of my dad and when I think of him in my thoughts, he's always older than me. You know, I'm older than my dad ever was by 13 years. 13 years older than my dad ever was. You know, it's a very peculiar feeling. You know, it's bizarre. It's hard to verbalize the perspective, because for all I'm older than he's ever been or ever was, you know, my dad's always older than me. In my dreams he's older. Every time I think of him he's older. When I see his face, even though he looked old, he looked 40, let's get that out of the way. But what I mean is, when I see his face, he's always older than me. Bizarre. You know, it's a crazy feeling, you know, what can I say? Now, they say life begins at 40. You know, it's funny as well, because I get that now. You know, I probably got it for the last year or so. I get it. Life begins at 40. When you're a young lad and you're in your 20s, you think 40 is an old man. You know, in fighting terms, I mean, 40 is an old man. You know, let's have it right. But in life, it's not. You know, in life, 40 isn't old. You know, and I get why I was taught and told by my granddad. So many times he told me that life begins at 40. He said, you're in your prime at 40. Maybe I'm not in my physical prime. I get that. You know, I think that was about 10 years ago. But I feel like I'm in my mental prime. You know, I feel mentally more resilient and stronger than ever. You know, and I think by the time you get to 40, you've built up a resilience, if you like, to life itself, to the problems and the trauma that life can deal you. You know, you get, in my opinion, in my experience, you get better and better at handling it the older you get. You know, your perspective changes, you see things differently, your values change as well. You know, what you once hold in high regard, now you don't really bother about. You know, it just doesn't seem like it's got the same importance. You know, materialistic things, they're bare in insignificance. You know, yeah, nice shiny things are good, and it's nice to spoil your kids and, you know, and get good things and have shiny toys and stuff. That's all good. None of it means anything. You know, none of it means nothing. You know, any possessions we own, anything that we, you know, accumulate in this life, it's just borrowed. None of it's ours, you know. And whenever the time comes when we're off to the next life, all them possessions will just become somebody else's. You know, we never truly own them. We're just kind of using them while we're here, you know. But what can I say? It's been an incredible journey. I've done a lot of reflecting today. You know, I'm very busy, but I've done some reflecting. I've been out painting and that. I've been painting this log cabin. I've got a log cabin built in the back of Alice's house. I'm moving in with Alice and over the next week or so. It's been a long time coming. You know, what can I say? I worship the ground she walks on. I idolise the lass, and very excited for our future. What can I say? And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Ta-da for now.